Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Footy with Trudy. I'm your host Trudy. I'm here with a full cast today. I have Edosa, Kachi, Skip, and Amino. We have a lot to talk about today, but we're hopefully going to get it through a short period of time. We're going to talk about Manchester United being back, winning trophies, winning silverware. We're going to talk about what is going on with Chelsea, and we're going to have a hopefully moderate debate on expectations versus what's considered expectations versus bottle job. First, let's start with Man U because there are a lot of Man U fans. We outnumber the other teams here. We have to big congratulations to us for winning our first trophy. Pat on the back. First of many. Are we on for the quadruple? Kachi, take us on the lead. Are we on for the quadruple? Look at
Nah. We're not jinxing. We're not doing no quadruple talk here. Nope. Last time, I'm not going to mention their name, but last time a team talked about quadruple, we know where they're at now, Liverpool. So we're not doing no quadruple talk. We're taking it a game at a time. We've won the Carabao Cup. I see us going far in the FA Cup. And the league, I'm happy with second or third. So that's, for me, Ten Hag has gotten a trophy, and I want him to solidify top four. For me, those are my expectations for him. If he gets another trophy on top of that, hey, that's only a bonus on top of that. Like, for me, you can see what in-game management does. And the guy has the cojones, if I can say that, to be able to make the tough decisions, to kick out the club legends that were running to Piers Morgan to complain. I'm not going to mention his name, but
bench the captain,
to bench our captain that has been the source of our defensive flaws, Maguire, aka Slabhead. But yeah, so. I like, for me, like, don't get me wrong, this is probably the most I've celebrated a Carabao Cup because, man, 6 years has been so long. I didn't even watch the game. I was just keeping up with the notifications. But when I realized that, we had gone 2-0, I was like, okay. But it's good. Like, I'm happy with Ten Hag. I'm happy that I hope that we don't get carried away with this and we just carry it on to our next game.
In the spirit of the other topics we have to talk about, I'm going to ask William this. So, with how good Man U is performing and how far ahead we are in third, would you consider it a bottle job if we don't solidify top four, if we don't make top four? Is that a bottle job or is that too much expectation?
No, I don't think it's a bottle job. What Ten Hag is doing is going above expectation. Then if he now falls back into what I expect him to do, it's not a bottle job. Again, a bottle job is basically Man City expecting City to win the league from day one, then going close to it, then falling on the ground. That's like bottle job right there. You cannot be like, oh, today I expect them to do this. I expect them to get 50. Then it looks as if they're going to get 70. Then they get 50. And okay, now like you are the one that raised the expectation. You knew. It's like, okay, another example. When you're about to
raise your expectation based on what you're seeing. No.
Yeah, but you knew. Okay, like deep down inside you, you do know that what they're doing, they shouldn't be doing that. That's why they shouldn't be doing that. So when they come back to what they're doing, it's just like, oh, okay, what I thought was right. They didn't. That was where you expect them to be. So, but yeah.
Amino, how good is Casemiro?
Well, like I said in the previous episodes, definitely for me the best DM in the league. People can argue for Partey, people can argue for Rodri, but for me, just the composition of those teams and what they are all required to do, I see Casemiro just edging it out. If you put Casemiro in Arsenal or in City, you will see night and day performance. But if you put Rodrigo and Partey in this Man U team, you won't see the same output that Casemiro is doing. He's a leader from the back, and he's chipping in goals as well. Let's just be real about that. Like the goal he scored in the final, an assist, exactly.
Bruno should have scored that.
So he's creating a lot of chances for a DM, and he's scoring a lot of goals for a DM. And the goal, in the final was very massive, and it definitely gave people the platform to calm down and manage the game properly. Once that one entered, Newcastle panicked a bit, and Man U immediately took advantage of that 5 minutes of uncertainty that they had to score a second one, and that was the final right there. So he's a massive, massive player and probably the best signing this season.
Ten Hag still has 2 trophies to catch up to Mourinho. So do you think he's gonna do that? How many trophies do you think we're gonna win under Ten Hag?
So when it comes to winning more trophies under Ten Hag this season, like for me, winning the Carabao Cup is enough for me. The next trophy is the top 4 trophy. We need to secure top 4. Like anything else is icing on the cake. And I'll say this: the difference between Ten Hag and all the other managers, Mourinho is the only one that won trophies, but you can see he's actually building something, right? So there's an excitement of what the future will bring. Whereas with Mourinho, you always knew that the wheels were gonna come off sooner or
Is
later,
it today?
right?
Is it
Yeah,
okay? We want to do it. Is it today? Is it today? Oh,
So-
is it today?
So, I can definitely see Ten Hag being, at Manchester United for the next 4 or 5 years. The Glazers, even though they're on their way out, or right now they're having second thoughts, but they should give the bro an 8.5-year contract, Todd style.
That style. Quickly, one more question for you, before we move to it. Is back to the expectation and bottle job stuff we're going to talk about in terms of the outputs you've seen us perform, the way you've seen us perform this season. You would say we're one of the better teams in Europa. Wouldn't it be a bottle job if we don't win Europa? Or does it depend on who knocks us out? Kachi, you can chime in on that after a minute's answer.
I'll say it also depends on who knocks us out and when they knock us out, right? I honestly don't see, probably Arsenal is the only team that I would say is pretty tough right now and that is still in the Europa League. So over 2 legs, I struggle to see any team that can beat us. But when we get to the final, a final is a final, and if a quality team is on the other side, anything can happen, right? So I wouldn't call it a bottle job if my Ten Hag doesn't win Europa League, because for me the focus should be top 4 now. Winning Europa League is just the same as getting top 4. So for me, that's a trophy we can go without.
It's a European trophy. You guys be disrespecting.
I know, but I would say I wouldn't sacrifice or I wouldn't put top 4 in jeopardy to win Europa League.
To try and win Europa League.
Yeah, so if we are comfortably in, the top 4 and even injuries cannot derail us, then for sure go all out in the Europa League and the FA Cup. But for sure right now, the team is starting to look tired. Guys are starting to hobble. So, something has to give. It's just too many games. So I wouldn't call it a bottle job because of the schedule as well.
Catch it quick.
So for me, it definitely will not be a bottle job. Like for me, the Europa League, those Spanish teams can have it. All those guys, it's like their own Champions League. For me, if we go out to Betis,
Sevilla.
Like if we go out to Real Betis, I'm okay with that. Like for me, top 4 has to be solidified. Like we need Champions League football next year. No way, no doubt.
You get
And I'll tell
Champions League
you
the
another
trophy if you
reason
win
why.
Europa.
If you come top 4, the money you get from coming top 4 in Premier League is almost £100 million. That's go and look it up. £100 million plus. I think Tottenham got like 150 million just for making top 4 last season. So like the money is there. So Europa, I'm sorry, Europa it would be nice to have another trophy. If I could pick between FA Cup and Europa, obviously Europa will be the next one I would love Ten Hag to win. But for me right now, we have 12 games in the season left in the EPL to go. We have to remain focused. That for me, that's priority number 1. Europa, then number 2. And then FA Cup, you play Elanga and all those guys. Those guys that are not getting game. You can put Maguire. That's where Maguire should use his defensive skills.
Cup winning Maguire.
Exactly. So
Captain. Cup winning
exactly. Maguire, Lindelof, all those bros. Even Phil Jones, those guys that don't get games, just put them there in FA Cup, let them play.
Did Dubravka get a medal?
Dubravka.
That would be hilarious.
Because he was our keeper.
I don't know.
Right? And that's why he didn't play for Newcastle.
Oh, it's
because
possible.
he was cup tied. Yeah.
It's possible.
So maybe he did get a medal. Who knows?
It's possible.
That was good either way.
Eriksen had to go leave Tottenham, go to another club and come back to Man U to win a trophy. And in the meantime, Tottenham has still not won a trophy.
You guys should stop. Leave Spurs alone. Leave Spurs alone. Stop it. Leave Spurs alone. Edosa, I'm gonna ask you this question since you're one of the nicer pundits we have on here. Can you analyze or tell us what's going on with Potter? Do you think he's gonna come good? Do you think it's just I don't even know what to call it. New player. What's the opposite of new manager bounce? New player swamp.
I honestly don't know. I think that if, like, if anything, they'll need to send another 5-6 players for Potter to work out.
Stop.
No, I'm being, because, no, like, if you look at the players they've signed, they don't look anything like what Potter would sign, apart from maybe Enzo. But then, I don't know. I'm being straight up honest with you. Like, they will need to go buy another couple of players for Potter to
Yeah,
start.
quality players though. Why didn't he start Zakaria? Zakaria.
So that question requires me to know anything about what Chelsea are doing on the field. I love Shadon Friday as much as the next person, but I'm not watching Chelsea for any reason. I'm sorry. You pretty much know the end result. It's a draw. It's 0-0 draw or they lose. So like, what's the point of wasting 90 minutes? That said, I think that he's very obviously a good manager. Like that's the thing about him. Like at that level, there are no bad managers. It's just bad fit. So the same way at that level, there are no bad players. So I think that he needs a place where there isn't as much attention, so he can just cook in silence, and then his team does well. So I don't know that. I don't know that much. Like as an Arsenal fan, 10-year contract for sure. Why not? Let's go. Like, as a human being, I think that he's going through a lot, and he probably needs more time to get better with the team, and then make them do something.
Skip, do you want to go? Do you want a minute to respond to that?
I just want to quickly say that saying that no, obviously Potter is, Harry Potter is a good manager, but sometimes you need to be on a certain level to get the best out of your current situation. And I don't know if he is a Chelsea level manager. We saw that with David Moyes when he was at Man U, like he looked like a fish out of water. And in David Moyes, even though he wasn't a Man U level manager, he wasn't a bad manager. We saw what he did when he now went back down to West Ham. Obviously, they're struggling again this season, but previous
took them to Europe.
They did pretty well. So I think Potter definitely needs more time. I think Chelsea owes Man U 3 points before they fire him. But I struggle to see if he will actually be able to manage a team like Chelsea long term, especially with everything going on with Todd and all the signings, 48 players or is it 98 players? Like that's a lot to handle for a manager at this level. So, and the fans are starting to turn on him. I'll let Skip going on him, but hopefully Skip will have calmed down and he wants to see Potter stay for another 6 or 7 years.
I agree with that completely. Before Skip goes, I just wanted to mention, I remember a quote from Ferdinand when he was talking about Moyes, that it was Moyes brought in a different mentality just because he wasn't at that level of management. When you're playing a team, Moyes' team talk was going to be, okay, this is how Aston Villa are playing. We have to make sure to adjust, to make sure to counter them like this. And he was like, we're not used to that. Under Ferguson, it was like, bro, this is how we're going to play. They adjust to us. We don't adjust to small teams to try and find a way around them. They are the ones that have to adjust to us. He brought that small team mentality to the locker room, and that's what Ferdinand said. I don't know whether that's what's going on with Chelsea. Skip has to talk first. Hold on.
Okay, so where should I start? So you know what? Because I have so much to say that I don't even know where to start. First of all, Weshe, which is just the standard where to start, where I'm going to start from. But saying now there's no bad manager or bad players at this level, okay, I'm sorry, there's some bad players and some bad managers at this level.
At this level?
Sandros was a bad player. Bularus
Who's
was
this?
a bad player. Like, there's nothing like being good or whatever. There are just some bad players that you ask yourself, how did they even make it here? Like, whatever. So going, focusing on Potter, I think it's just out of depth. Like, there's a certain amount of swag, there's a certain amount of idea you need to manage. There's a certain amount of charisma you even need to manage a top team. That when you walk into the dressing room, your body language alone will ask for respect. It doesn't have any of that. So now let's look. Another thing I'm going to say is, like, look at Ten Hag. He came in with all his brilliant ideas. It wasn't working. What did he do? A good manager, you know what? Let me change A, B, C, and leave the rest have a bit alone. And you start getting results. Then immediately you start getting results. Those players start believing in you. And when they start believing in you, then you start adjusting C. You adjust C back. Then you adjust B back. Then maybe you will leave A to preseason. That's how a good manager does it. I've seen Thomas Tuchel do the same thing. Come in, adjust A, B, C, and leave the rest. So whatever you need to do to win. Because if you are not getting results, I'm sorry, at this level, the players will just look at you, what are you talking about? You need to like, again, you need to convince the player you know what you're doing. And at this level, he just doesn't have it. I don't think I don't think he should never. I'm not thinking Potter shouldn't manage any other team again. But again, it will go back down to his level where they are punching above their distance, where he's not having a player driving like a better car than him in, where he's not having a player questioning him. Because at Chelsea, a player will question you, okay, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do this? And you have to explain yourself. While Broughton, they should just be like, yes, oh, yes, yes, yes. And that's what separates extremely like top talent players from just, bare minimum players. You should be able to, and I agree with that. If you tell a player go do ABC, a player should be able to look at his manager and be like, why should I do this, and why? What's your reason? And you should be able to explain yourself. That's what makes you a great coach. That immediately you're able to explain yourself, and the players say, you are right. Next time he won't ask you that. But if you're not able to explain yourself, what will happen? So for me personally, all my fears about Potter, they are coming true. Every fear I have about him, they are just coming. And all the positive I was hoping for, I cannot see a single one of them. I haven't seen a single one of those positive. And at this point, he's not even the player at this point. You just, the little thing, like the in-game management, like all his starting 11, I have a question, like, why are you starting this 11? Should be, I usually text to price. And at the end of the game, you go look at the player I picked out to start, like, oh, those players shouldn't be playing. And they're the players that contribute the least. Like, I'm like,
every Chelsea fan is wondering why Ziyech is now starting. This is the guy that was about to leave the other day. Why is he starting all your games now? It doesn't make any sense. Why is he starting all your games?
Why is Kovacic again? Kovacic is never good. Kovacic have never been able to play two central mid. Kovacic have never been playing. Is that you play him in the 3, or when you play him at the 2, you have to play 3 at his back. He has never, and now you came and you're like, oh, brilliant idea. He came back from injury. Let me start him. How? Do you think that's going to work? In a 2, Enzo is not a deep line. He's not a defensive midfielder in a 2. He has never been that player. You can play him there because there are 3 players running around the midfield when there's 3. But he has never, like, all these little mistakes. Like Modric, the Modric guy, you sign him. This guy is like, he doesn't have no precision, nothing on his feet. You see like his fitness is lacking. Everything is lacking. You're like, oh, let me go start him against deep. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, there are a lot of things that you see and you're asking, like, okay, Koulibaly start. Why are you starting Koulibaly over
Badiashile?
Why? Rhys James and Chilwell are back. These guys are like, when they come to assist in Chelsea, they are the high profile. Push those niggas up. Push those players up. Let me correct myself. Push those players, like, let those guys get up the field and make sure, like, you're 2 sitting. Because, again, okay, let me explain this. When you look at our whole midfield, the only midfielder that can assist or threaten, like, have an ability to score a goal is Enzo. You are playing him the deepest. and you are playing all those other farmers that can assist or even score a goal ahead of him. It doesn't make any sense. So now, if you're playing Enzo the deepest, the the two right back and the left back, they won't be able to push those guys up. Make sure your two this thing, they're like there's one defensive that is basically almost sitting, and Enzo can climb. Then you will be able to. But I don't know what's doing every time playing Enzo deep. I don't understand that.
To be fair, Enzo is a better defensive midfielder than Loftus-Cheek. If you're starting two of them, you rather have Enzo.
Here's the thing: why can't you play again? We have players that can play the deep line. This thing. Zachary was basically our best midfielder. Was the best defensive mid in Chelsea team. Now he came back he can't start a game. Are you kidding me? Kovacic ahead of him. Are you kidding me? I text again before so Potter, and again when he talks, when you come into a team, you want to ginger the fans, get them behind you and all that. Every time this guy is talking about Chelsea is they or Chelsea, not us.
The guy said that there's Tuchel's preseason that is making all you guys not play well. Tuchel's preseason.
And
the
people
Chelsea
are looking at me and saying
Tuchel back.
Again, first of all, Tuchel is not coming back, so that's a closed door.
I heard Zidane. I heard some stuff about Zidane. Is that true?
Zidane can't speak English. Where is he going to do? People are just.
But also, I couldn't speak English, man. What are you talking about?
Okay. People are just throwing things against the wall and hoping something
I didn't know Zidane
sticks.
couldn't speak English,
So
at all.
Speak English.
He can't.
Interesting.
So again, that's not going to work. So when you look at Potter, and you're just like, guy, you need to just do something different. You need to do something. And every time I just say I'm just like, God, this guy is just not. And this guy is complaining about now. They've said now the things they're saying about him is that they're abusing his kid and all that. First of all, I pray nobody ever people don't witness that or people who have that ever happen to anyone. But you're stealing a living. You've been there for 3-4 months. You've earned millions. You've done absolutely nothing. If
we have to move on to the next topic. This guy said he's stealing a living.
If anybody else go into a bank and actually take money from that's stealing. He's stealing a living. They're giving you money. You haven't done anything. If anybody is going to get that, you are going to get that. So again, I feel bad for him because no human beings deserve that. But again, at the end of the day, you are not doing yourself any favor here. So, yeah.
I feel like the most baffling part about this is that even if you would think that if you have all the players that Chelsea have, even if you just put them on the pitch without a manager, at least they'll score. It's the lack of scoring that is really catching me. How can they not be able to score?
Again, you look at the lack of scoring and you just look at it. Again, every week in, week out, there's a mistake. Why is Albert still playing as a number 9? This guy won't deliver a single thing for up to 2 months.
Guys, your leading goal scorer. He has 2 in the past.
Nobody can play there.
I think Felix is better there than him. I think Felix is better than him in number 9. I think Felix is better than him in number 9. Havertz is not a number 9, bro.
Felix is a number 9. Felix is better.
Felix is a better number 9 than Havertz. It's not even a question.
They should try it.
Bro, it was Diaby that was making Havertz shine. That bro, Havertz is on the fraud list, man. It was Diaby in Bayern Leverkusen that was making that bro shine, man. Havertz is suspect.
Felix is a better 10 than Havertz. He's also a better baller than Havertz. He's also not had Chelsea fans trying to kill him for over 2 years. Despite being
for missing a header.
So also he knows that in 4 months he's back to Madrid, living his best life in the sun.
He wants to stay here. I don't think he wants to go back to Diego Simeone.
I know he's trying his best. He's trying his best.
He's trying his best. When you see him on the pitch, he's like, sign me, please.
No, but the interview this guy is releasing is fucking great. But I don't think Chelsea are going to pay 100 and something. If they will take Pulisic and drop half price, they can come and carry that one too and go. But again, but I don't think Chelsea, we have bigger issues than that. And also, Nkunku is coming. Nkunku and him, they play of similar position. So why have 2 of them in the same team? It doesn't make any sense.
That's the problem, though. you're not signing players with your manager in mind. You're just signing players.
That's the American owner way, man. That's how.
Right. So, like speaking about, let's look at the team.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the team for a second. Like, okay, so you have Enzo. He might be great on the ball, but I promise you, the Enzo meets Brentford, Leeds, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, you'll be shocked at how ordinary he looks because they're just going to walk him into the ground. Because he doesn't have the
that's why you
as
need a partner. Again, there's
no, but that's why you
pull
him. But that's why you pull him away from where it's congested, so he has more time on the ball to do the thing he does best, which is pass the ball.
Again, but that is why everyone is saying playing for again, like now against Southampton are going to outrun every player. How can you again? This happens Leeds 2-3 years ago. They are going to outrun the team. You know that they will just keep running like bunch of madmen. Instead of play 3 midfielders that have energy, and at the end of the day, if you match their energy, your quality at the end of the day is going to show over them. But this guy will be like, oh no, we're going to just go and try and play our own way and not even care a bit about how they are going to run around the whole game. And that's Potter's problem.
Hold on. Kachi should get the last one on this because we have to move to the last topic. We're running out of time. Kachi.
No, go ahead. Edosa can go and then I'll go after.
No, I just going to say just now, Chido was talking about how Ferdinand was like, oh, we play our way. We play so you can't have it both ways. You either play by your way or you adjust to everybody. There's no in between.
But here's the thing. When he says, again, that's the main star, people misinterpret it. When they say you adjust to our way, if you know a player, if there are two type of winger, inside forward and a traditional winger, right? If you know the left back is weak, he doesn't play well when he's playing against an inside forward, and he plays well better than an traditional winger. You are going to play an inside forward that day. That doesn't mean you are confirming, but it's just sense. It's just arranging things. You are not it's just common sense.
But then you have Arsenal who play their way, whatever is happening. Play City, Zinchenko was playing right center mid. Played Man U, Zinchenko was playing right center mid. The only game we didn't play was the Liverpool game because he was really injured. Otherwise, he would have been playing right center mid. If you are choosing to play your way, you play your way because you believe that if the opponent doesn't stop you, you are going to kill them.
You're going to kill them.
So his issue is that he cannot figure out what the best way is in his team for them to impose themselves, which kind of brings me to Ten Hag.
But do you not know the funny thing? Next season, you will notice Arteta will start adjusting a bit in order to accommodate. Because here's the thing. That's the problem with EPL. They study
Arteta is going to kill everybody with 1,000 passes a match. He's just going to get worse. Because he's just going to be like, well, it worked. So I'm going to change one midfielder and get another person to hold Saka and to just get worse. It will just get worse. He just keep passing and passing and passing. No, but that's what he's done every year.
Next season for sure.
No, but every year that's what he's done. He started with a round ball, then he started passing, and he started passing more, and now we're here. So next season you can expect more passing. That's just what it is. That is what Pep does. They just pass and pass and pass and pass. If it works, good. It doesn't work, great. What's your own business? You pass the game tomorrow.
What's my own business?
Right? So the thing about Chelsea and Man U is that they were in similar situations. I guess Man U has solved that issue, but the issue is that any good manager, what he saw, could have fixed Man U.
True.
Because
we didn't have a coach.
Anybody that just decided to do a little bit of tactics and take care of training could improve Rashford and tell the players where to stand and do something. So nothing to me, Ten Hag is a good manager, no doubt, but he's not performing miracles. Potter is literally going to have to live up to his namesake to get Chelsea back to top four.
Magic.
Build up magic.
I agree with that. Ten Hag is playing with Fred and Weghorst. That is
great. Okay,
magic there.
No.
Play with 10.5 men every game. But I don't want to go on this.
Okay, but I don't think that's true. If you actually look at the squad he inherited and look at what he added to it and look at what's this guy's name? Your former guy that was first manager,
Ralph?
first director of football. Yeah, he said you need to sign about 10 players for you to do better. look at the number of players you've added to your team. Somehow it adds up to just about 10. And you're doing better. That's weird, in my opinion. That's weird, right? So you got a competent manager. You fixed the issues that were obvious to anybody that was looking at your team. And you're playing better. That's so crazy.
Man, didn't sign 10 players. And I will challenge any manager in the league to play with Weghorst and Fred. and do what
no, but wait,
Ten Hag is doing. I want
Fred
Bissaka.
versus Eneli.
You can add Anthony to that list.
Fred
I
versus
get what you're saying.
Eneli.
Like the
He
team
didn't pick up a rubbish team.
Yeah,
So,
I agree that the team itself wasn't that bad.
The
but
team he picked up
he's
versus
overachieving.
the Brighton team. Like the team he picked up versus the Brighton team, or versus the Brentford team versus the Newcastle team.
Wait, the team he picked up versus the Brighton team. That Brighton team beat us, was it 4-0?
Because you were having a bad day and confidence. Let them try it again.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play. He hasn't played that team since.
He hasn't played that team since.
But
he hasn't played Maguire since the fourth crash. He hasn't played Maguire.
No, but that's the thing, though. Like,
and Scott.
It's not like he's dropping Maguire to put some project centre back, which is what other teams have had to do, right? He had a World Cup winning centre back, and then he signed somebody else that went on to win the World Cup.
Okay.
Like I'm talking about Varane. He had someone that went on to win the World Cup. He bought all the players he assigned as his first choice. He had never had to adjust to somebody stealing his play. Because he hasn't actually shopped with the big boys yet.
What club stole Gakpo? What are you talking about?
He didn't. If he wanted Gakpo,
we wanted Rabiot too, and that's.
I don't think that was him.
What's that guy's name? The Austrian guy. That striker. Austrian striker.
Austrian striker.
Yeah. The
Sesko.
Not Sesko guy. The guy we wanted Rabiot. I remember his name.
But like
Amovic.
I don't think you wanted Rabiot over. Like Rabiot is like probably one of the worst signings anybody can make at any point.
I'm happy we didn't get it.
That guy doesn't play, and his mother will come and destroy your play.
It's his mother that actually messed up the thing, because we had agreed on a fee, but he wanted too much. His mom is his agent, wanted too much wages for him. Anyway, we're going off topic. Kachi.
But the point is, sorry, Kachi. The point is just that like Potter is doing not as well as he should be, given the amount of resources that he has. But then the resources are not directed to what he wants. But the funny thing that if you look at
here's the thing, a manager, again, you people always assume a manager have to have like 800 million, like everything he needs. A good manager doesn't. How many managers in history actually had? Every year, a manager will look at his team and, let me improve this team. I can improve this team. This team can be better. A manager never get the team they want. You have to look at Ten Hag. Look at what he's doing with this team. He shouldn't be there compared to the beginning of this thing. That team again. No matter what you're going to tell me, that team is better than losing to Southampton at home. That team is better than that Tottenham game. Tottenham are no good. That team is better. So whatever you want to say, they should again. Whatever you want to say, they should be winning those games.
I just spelled to this guy.
So again, they should be winning those games. And again, I was one of the people that was like, no matter what, give him chance till the end of the season. You knew I was saying that. But like, it's the same every week.
The Southampton game killed it for you guys. That's when he lost. That's when the Chelsea fans are like, all right, done.
No, but
you can't listen to guys who's last. Who are last? Let Kachi talk, please. Let Kachi talk, please.
No, I'm sorry, Kachi. I'm just really mad, and I'm like, I'm going to explode. So I'm going through it. So I'm sorry. But like, again, when you look at again, that's Southampton. I looked at it. I was like, this formation is wrong for Southampton. Southampton are going to come again. They know they don't have the quality. So what are they going to do? They are going to outrun you. They will run more than you. So how do you make sure that run?
Game, though? You created chances in that game.
To help
me, bro, remember? Did you guys watch that game? Like that ball was not entering. Like it wasn't entering. Sterling had an empty. And the defender. You remember they had so many chances in that game.
But what does that remind you? That's not how Brighton needs to be under him. Their XG will be insane. They will score like nothing.
But doesn't that say something about the coach? Doesn't that say something?
Does the coach keep the ball inside the net?
But there are also other people that
so you
coach their
play.
team to score
No,
goals.
no, I agree. So if his style of play gets you a lot of XG, but like a lot of chances to score, it's not his job to kick the ball inside the net. So that's
I
not
agree with
it.
that. I
He's
agree with
done
that
his
100%.
job. He's done his job. They don't want to do the rest.
Well, let
That's
Kachi
what the
talk. Let
guys
Kachi
do.
talk. Let Kachi talk. I agree with that 100%. Let Kachi talk.
Can I just say the biggest problem I have with Potter is that you can see the glaring. He's playing wrong players in the wrong position against the wrong opponent. The fact that he's so if that he's
Wrong.
if that he's playing the right players out of the 40 something or 50 something players that Chelsea has, and Chelsea are still losing, fans will be like, okay, fair enough. You are playing the whiz on the players. But the fact that this guy is, I'm sorry, like you're being paid millions and millions of dollars. Where's your scouting report on Southampton? Where's your scouting report on Tottenham? Like literally, like it's like, and where I worry with Chelsea, them sticking with him is Chelsea has still not played Man U the second time. Chelsea has still not played Man City. Chelsea has still not played Arsenal. Chelsea is still playing Leeds. They are playing Newcastle, Brentford. Like if they continue, like to me, this guy has to be fired after the Dortmund game. If they lose that game, just fire him. In my opinion,
Say,
you might as well just
do you know
bring,
what I'm?
you might as well go and hire Tottenham's assistant manager at this point. He will do a better job.
He's a winner.
It's true.
See,
He's a winner.
here's the thing.
When are they
I
playing
think
Man U? You can't get
if
fired.
Chelsea lose,
Hold on, let
if
me
Chelsea
check.
actually don't get a win against Leeds and BVB, it's definitely out. At that point, there is no sane human being that can
What if
actually
you
defend.
get
If-
a win against Dortmund but not Leeds?
To cover. You
Okay,
have to be-
this at that point, at that point, they will still give him a chance. But because again, some
'Cause in
Chelsea
Champions
fans are
League.
dreaming that, like, yeah, and like they keep the hope up. But let me tell you,
Playing Chelsea
Leeds are
on
going to come
22nd
and
of April.
do.
That's far away. That's far. That's
Leeds are
Tony's
going to
wedding.
come and do the same thing Southampton did last week or 2 weeks ago, and watch him again. He will not make it again. Just watch. You see the way Southampton came and they were just running like a bunch of mad people, right? And he made no adjustment. He's going to do the same thing against Leeds. Leeds are going to come and they're going to outrun, and he will not adjust his team in order to accommodate that. You will see. And here you will not tell me it's the player again. It's the players. It's not the players sometimes. It's just the coach.
It's true. He's the coach. He's the coach. And the reason why I say he's the coach, if you think that things are bad, like if you think Southampton were a good team, Leeds are 10 times better at pressing. Watch the Man U, the first Man U game that we beat
Bruh.
Leeds. We did like this.
Bruh.
We were sweating.
So
These guys are
we
pressing us
drew.
right from the
The
front.
first one we drew. We drew with them. You guys, you've exhausted the time for this last topic, so I don't even want. This is what Edosa wanted because he didn't want to talk about this. He didn't want to talk about this. I want to get Kachi's take on this. I think I got your take on it already about the bottle job versus expectation because I know where Edosa and Skip lie, but I feel like my argument remains, and my argument is, you can't base expectations that were made in the summer before the season even started and say because those expectations were made, whatever you're seeing throughout the weeks, months of the season doesn't matter. Because the argument is because no one expected Arsenal to be in top 4. Despite what we're seeing now, if they don't win the league, it's not a bottle job. These guys had the best start to the season ever in the history of the Premier League. They had a virtually unassailable lead. So I personally feel like if they don't win this, it's a bottle job. Kachi.
I think if you remember the mid-season review, I said it that the World Cup will basically create 2 seasons in one. And Arsenal pretty much ran away with the league first half of the season. Like to me, if the Arsenal board were smart, I'm sorry, go and find money somewhere and sign.
They tried.
They needed the goals. No.
They tried.
No. They needed the goals. Like we all know, Nketiah took them as far as he could. But to me, Arsenal needed the goals. They needed to go out and get. Because if you notice, the goals has dried up now. To be honest, they needed the goals. And to me, they needed Jorginho. Okay, Jorginho is a makeshift, but they needed somebody also more solid in there for Partey. To me, they needed to go and sign that. Knowing that if there was any season that City would be bad, if there was any season that, if there was any season that Man U, like the traditional top 6 boys will be lacking, is this season. This is your opportunity to go win the league straight up and run away with this shit. Because we know Guardiola's head in Champions League. My guy is still scratching himself from what Real Madrid did to him last year. So for me, I think the reason why I say it will be a bottle job and it will hurt, this one will hurt the Arsenal fans more than anyone. The reason why I say that is because all the other teams have been hearing from Arsenal fans since September. We are the champions in September. We are the champions in October. Even during the World Cup, we are the champions. Like, the hype was there, right? So to me, if Arsenal doesn't win it, it will be a bottle job. And to me, this one will hurt more than even the Leicester winning the league for the Arsenal fan base, in my opinion. Because I don't think this chance is coming back anytime soon. Because from next season, we'll go back to the regular schedule and everything will reset back to what is supposed to be.
Because realistically, the loss of the league is as a result of losing to Everton. There's that stretch that you went 3 games without winning. Who did you draw points to? Everton, I forget the rest.
Newcastle.
So Everton.
Newcastle.
No.
You drew Newcastle is quality this season. So
Everton. Then they refused to draw the line, and then we played.
Oh yeah, the Brentford one. Yeah, the Brentford one. The Brentford one. Yeah.
So
there you go.
just to enter into this conversation.
What's the name of the ref again? Lee Mason.
Lee Mason. It's a pension job. He's definitely getting paid 6 figures to sit down at home. Also, it's a manager that even Wenger was complaining about back in 2016. So that type of person, you know something else is going on. That said, why is it not a bottle job? It's fairly straightforward. They are playing if City win the league, it is not a bottle job because, well, City win the league every year, generally. It is what it is. If Man U win the league, now we can have a conversation. Because technically you have 2 teams that were around the same level and neither of them were expected to win the league and you're losing it to your competition. Because our competition is not City. We're not supposed to be where we are at all. Right? That's fairly straightforward. Also, you are saying that Arsenal did not go and sign somebody. They bid 100 million for it.
That's what they tried. That's why I said they tried.
They cannot even start at Chelsea. Yeah.
Can I respond to that? 100 million for 20. Arsenal needed to sign a proven, experienced
striker.
person.
Okay, wait. So the question is, who can you actually buy that a proven, experienced person in January that would have scored as many goals as Nketiah? Because they're in the same league and they're not scoring as many goals as Nketiah.
You can go to Italian league, you can go to French league and find goal scorers.
How many players in?
That French Frankfurt bro, I forgot his name.
Who?
The Frankfurt striker.
Frankfurt.
Yeah.
That guy that's shot the last shot in the World Cup.
Frankfurt.
That's MEC.
Kwani.
Who was?
Yeah, Mwani.
That boy didn't have the club last summer. So that's what? No, but wait.
So wait. Are you telling me that with 100 million, Arsenal could not have signed a striker that would have gotten them 15 to 20 goals? Because that's what they need.
Ooh. No, they don't need 15 to 20 goals. They need someone that was going to bridge the gap between when Jesus was out and when he comes back. That's all it was. If you have the second choice striker that is doing what Nketiah did, if you try to buy Nketiah in the summer, you're dropping not less than 15 mil. Because if you look at the price the other strikers are going for, they're not scoring more than him. They haven't scored more than him in all the games he's played. You don't find second choice strikers that good. There's a reason why they're second choice. So are you honestly telling me that somebody is going to bid 50 million for Nketiah when he's had
he said at the time okay, he was in January because he scored a lot of goals in December. So he was running. People were adding him in fantasy. He was running.
He was running. But it was good. But for 15 million, you could not find anybody that you could actually buy. Like the club would say, yes, give me 15 million, take my striker. Because you're not buying another club's second choice striker, you're buying their first choice striker.
That was the problem.
You need him.
That was the problem.
They know you need him.
Yeah, welcome to Man U's world, man. That's when we needed everybody knows we needed a midfielder. Say, you want him? It's
Modric was 25 million last summer. Brentford said no, thank you for 25 million. So why is he worth 100 million? So he hasn't played up to 10 games since last summer to now. Desperation. 2 teams needed a player, 100 million out of nowhere. So there's literally no winger, no striker, no forward that Arsenal could have bought that would have created what Nketiah was doing.
That's what the scouts are for. That's what the scouts are paid for.
No, but they did. But think about it. Trossard has had a hand in 3 goals in 3 games, basically. That's fantastic scouting. Identify an opportunity, bought him. 2 days. 2 days between bid and him arriving at the club. Judging the opportunity, 2 days. 2 days. That's all it took. Yes.
Go on.
But can I just say, with regards to scouting, you don't wait till the problem arises. Usually, when you're scouting, you have a list of names of players that you approach. Right at the beginning of the season, going into a season, you have your first choice, you have your second choice. You have the guys that, okay, if it doesn't work, we'll reapproach again in January. Arsenal scouting department seriously cannot tell me it's in January that they started scouting. Because going into the season in September.
How many strikers does Man U have?
Man U's out and
we had.
To me, if you're looking at strikers, like really, it's only Martial and Weghorst that are actual strikers. Rashford, I don't categorize Rashford. I don't categorize.
We had Ronaldo
and Martial.
Okay, so you were at 3. You were at 2, and they're still at 2 because Ronaldo had left. How many strikers does City have? 2. How many strikers does Chelsea have? Actually, that's a bad
City 2. I will categorize Julian Alvarez as a forward. I don't think he's a striker.
Those are the 2 strikers. Who's the third one? Those are the 2. Haaland and Alvarez. Who's the next person?
Yeah.
There's nobody else. How many strikers does
I think Liverpool has 3.
Madrid have?
Liverpool has 3.
Liverpool don't have any striker. Liverpool is forward.
Nunes, Jota, and
Nunes is the only striker. Jota is not a striker.
Firmino.
Salah is not even a striker. He's a forward.
Salah, I mean, you can. I'll down the hill that Salah is a striker, but he plays on the wing.
He's a forward.
He plays on the wing. He plays on the wing, right? It is what it is.
I don't know if I what was that?
He plays out wide, but he's a striker.
We have to round up. Time.
Guys, calm down. The people that are listening are fine with it. But no, but this is the thing here. Yes, you can have your list and all of that, but the truth is that Arsenal cannot buy another striker for 50 million or 100 million when they have Nketiah and they have someone who is outscoring 3 of the best players in the world in France coming back to the team. You can't do that.
Honestly,
you can't sign somebody else.
I think your argument is coming from a practical view of how a team should be run, right?
But that's how it should be done.
But I think what Kachi is saying, and if I understand what Kachi is saying, is given the circumstances, I don't think we'll ever find ourselves in this position. We need a striker. I don't even care. I don't care if we're going to go buy a first choice striker. We need a striker right now.
Let me give you an example.
The momentum going.
Let me give you
so we can win this thing. Then next season, Jesus, that striker, and Nketiah can now argue who's first choice and all that nonsense.
Man United needed a striker, right?
Who
did you end up?
But we're not. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not in that situation.
Can I say something?
Wait.
Yeah. I can honestly tell you that if Man U were in Arsenal's position that Arsenal was in, World Cup break, we would have broken the world record to get Mbappe. That's how desperate.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how desperate.
That's what I'm saying.
Glazers would have brought out money. They would have brought out money to make sure we win the league.
Guys, wait. We are not thinking about this very well.
What can't you buy for 100 million or a normal transfer window? Who can't you buy for 100 million in a normal transfer window? No, that's what you have to think about. Like, if somebody was willing to pay 100 million for a player that has 8 first-team goals in 40 games, anybody that was remotely available could have entered Arsenal for that price. But there isn't anybody. So you don't waste the money. Because this summer, Arsenal can go for Rice. Does that make Arsenal a really good team? Yes. And they'll still have 100 million to go for Leao if they want it. And they can sell Nketiah and the other boy and buy another. And they can buy somebody else. You can't sell your house because Bitcoin is skyrocketing today. Like, it doesn't make sense. You have to plan. Arsenal will come again. That's a guarantee. You cannot be this good one season. No, but that's the fact.
Liverpool?
Arsenal,
Liverpool?
No, but like Liverpool, you can see why Liverpool are where they are. Like, if we take the banter out of it, Liverpool team got old. They refused to refresh. That is all it is. That is literally all it is. If they keep Klopp and refresh, 2-3 seasons they'll come back.
And these bros were cheap. They refused to give Man an extra 100 grand a week. This cheap ass club.
Right? So Man U are in the beginning of their own. in the next 2 seasons, watch your age profile drop a lot. You stop signing all these star boys, start signing young players. That's just what's going to happen. Now a point of, are you going to still be good or not when you have younger players? Nobody knows yet, right? Arsenal are in the beginning. If you look at their team, they're literally at the beginning. You cannot turn Pep's team into a defensive team and you come tell me that, next year the team's only going to be bad.
36% possession. Yeah.
That doesn't happen ever. Arsenal made Leicester take less shots than has ever been recorded in the history of Premier League. The same Leicester that was tearing you guys left, right, center.
Relax.
No, but
for 20 minutes.
But they took one shot.
Arsenal only had 2 shots on goal in that game and scored
Sure.
one.
But
So that's the kind of game it was. You guys did
no,
each other.
but in that,
As if Arsenal had 10 shots on goal or something.
No,
You had
no,
10
but-
shots, 2 on goal.
No.
That's just what it was.
okay, you had 10
other.
shots on goal, but if you go check the number of shots that United have over the course of your winning streak, you realize that you're not shooting that much and you're relying on Rashford hot finishing.
Definitely.
What happens? You're not shooting. You're not shooting more than. Check it.
Definitely more than 10 shots.
Check it. We're here.
We shot at least 10 in the
Against
Newcastle
Leicester.
game, that's for sure.
Definitely
Leicester,
shots.
no.
It was probably like 16 or something. Wasn't it?
Sorry, guys. Before we go, I just have a quick question for the United fans. Do you think
Yes,
United
quick.
should give Rashford the contract he's asking for, and they should
What's he
just
asking
give
for?
him everything?
What's he asking for?
Around 300 and all of that.
Hey, for how many years?
Okay, that's for him and his family. But like, he's probably going to be
We'll
asking
give
for
it to him. Don't
four.
worry, man.
He's probably going to ask for 4 or 5 years, 300.
300 is a
He wants
lot.
to be on that Kevin
The
De
hit-
Bruyne money. So
The year is on 300, I believe. And Pogba is
Yeah.
on 300.
They're trying to get the air to take a pay cut. So to
Yeah.
now turn around
So,
and give Rashford
Yeah.
300 is going to
And
be...
Pogba was on
tough
300
one.
too.
So
was
what
on
do you guys
300
think?
too.
I'll give it to him.
No. Rashford is not consistent enough to
See,
give
see.
300.
So
I'll give
that
him
means
that.
you will allow
I'll give him the
Rashford to go for
300.
free?
No, I'm giving Rashford
That
the
means you will
300.
allow Rashford. No, I'm asking
man.
Chudi, you will let
Because
Rashford
when you think
go.
about all the bros from Aubameyang to Salah that you give in the bag, none of them really come good after you give them that bag. So I honestly don't know.
But those are old guys.
No, don't give him the 300 and see whether Ten Hag is actually a good manager. No.
Hey, we have to go. Look at the time. We have to go. We have to cut this debate short. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. As always, continue to love football. Like and follow the page on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. As always, I said it already. Continue to love football. Man U is back. More trophies to come. Arsenal, good luck.